Hey there. It's Kurt Phillips, author of The Hand of the Archer. I'm in the middle of chapter 9, which is weird. Crazy shit's going down, so I'm going to kind of read the gist of it and the end of it. And the spirit was cast down from the void, loosed upon the face of the earth. It had been ripped from a state of perfection, an arrow released from its mark, moving in reverse, led by the feather of its fletch to meet the trembling bow and shatter upon the hand of the archer. It could hear, and it heard its own shrieks. It could feel, and it felt its limbs reach out to strike. It could taste, and it tasted its own blood. A lingering electricity remained in the corpse of the lioness. It sparked, and a paw lashed out. From within, the Numa could feel the involuntary movement. It struck one of the dogs in front of it and then recoiled. It shrieked as it felt the pain of its own movement. It lashed out again, placing its teeth upon one of the dogs. It heard the small beast cry out as it felt its own fangs meet between the bones. The Numa shook. Cold energy of the consciousness animated the lion's nervous system, and it trembled and jerked with enough force to flip the carcass from one side to the other. Its limb remained ensnared in the iron teeth of the trap, the chain pulled taut by violent convulsions. The dog lunged again at the lion, taking a mouthful of flesh with it. Blood dripped from its teeth, indicating that, by all rights, the lion should be dead. Confused, the dog redoubled its efforts, springing again at the nearest palsied limb. The body of the lion contorted violently, and the consciousness felt the cat's injuries. It winced and howled at the pain in response to every movement it lacked the ability to control. It felt a spark rise from deep within, and a claw rose up with enough force previously unknown to the lion, knocking the dog from the air. It struck down on its shoulders, shattering the dog's neck and heaving it to the ground in an unrecognizable heap. The animated carcass of the lion fell back, flopping violently next to the still and silent dog. It rolled and turned so that again the chain was pulled tight. The nervous system of the lion lit up. It pulled and twisted with enough force to rip the fur from its paw. Cartilage snapped and bones separated as the teeth of the metal trap finally met, clapping together, releasing the lion from its own forepaw, freeing it. Pain sent it in the opposite direction. Without the skill to control movement, the lioness tumbled down the embankment as it watched the forest spin. It struck the ground again and again as this new world of light and shadows, trees and earth revolved. The Numa struggled to make sense of the landscape that swirled until it abruptly came to a stop. It struck a boulder at the bottom of the ravine, and a new gash opened up on the cat's skull above its right ear. The Numa that animated the dead lion lay still, motionless for the first time in its brief existence. It existed, not confused, for confusion requires knowledge, a knowledge that objects once familiar had been rendered unrecognizable. No, all the Numa was experiencing was new. It had been heaved violently to the ground and into the dirt and into the dead flesh of the cat. It had been all things. Now it was one thing. And it possessed all of the qualities that were no longer perfection. It was isolated, separate, angry, and afraid. And it hurt. The Hand of the Archer. Now available on Kindle, Ingram Sparks, all those other places online. And if you're in Austin, Texas, go check it out at Book People. Happy reading.